A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Joining us now is the great General Jack Keane. Of course, you can see him on Fox News. He's also the former Vice Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army. General Keane, first off, how serious are things right now? Because we saw this Hezbollah rocket, and it landed into Israel, of course, coming in from the north into Israel, attacking kids during a soccer game. I mean, it can't get any worse. We know that over a dozen were killed. Israel has threatened to retaliate. How dangerous and precarious is this situation now?
Yeah, well, certainly it is. I mean, so our audience understands the Hamas attacked, obviously, we all remember on October the 7th, but Hezbollah attacked on October the 8th and has literally attacked every single day since then, delivering over 6,000 rockets and missiles and countless number of mortars and artillery, so much so that 80,000 Israelis who live in northern Israel, close to the Lebanese border, have had to give up their homes, and the kids can't go to school. In fact, they're not even going to open school this coming school year as a result of what's taken place. 80,000 Israelis are without their homes as a result of this continuous bombardment. Here's the concern. Israel, within their rights to conduct a retaliation attack, certainly to prevent. The intent would be that Hezbollah ever repeating something like they just did and the horrific and barbaric nature of it. But also Hezbollah has somewhere in the neighborhood of 130,000 plus rockets and missiles, but lethal long-range missiles to include ballistic missiles, all provided by Iran. They can reach any town and any city in Israel. The concern has always been Hezbollah for almost a year now has excluded their attacks from Israel writ large. They have focused their attacks in northern Israel. The concern would be after the retaliation attack that Hezbollah would begin to escalate the war and start attacking major cities with the lethality and the range that those weapons suggest. That would be very challenging for Israel, and they would return with significant comprehensive air power and likely ground forces as well. So that is the concern that this could lead, obviously, to an escalation of the war.
General Keane, John Catsimatidis. Well, it looks like the excess money that Iran has made on the oil since President Biden shut down the pipelines, made oil the enemy of the people, and the price of oil went from $50 to $100 a barrel. Right now it's like Brent is like 88, 90. I'm not sure. But he allowed Iran to go from 400,000 barrels a day, where President Trump had the budget, to 4 million barrels a day, and made them a quarter of I understand, $250 billion. And they used their extra money as play money to hire Hamas, to hire Hezbollah, and to hire the Houthis. Now, the Houthis have the Suez Canal closed and the Red Sea closed. Why hasn't the commander-in-chief cleaned them out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the principal country that's been buying that oil has been China, so they've been financing this. And the first month, John, of the Biden administration, secretly, not advising any member of Congress, the Biden administration pulled away from the Trump sanctions on Iran. This is January, February of 21, after assuming power on Inauguration Day. And they did it and told the Iranians they were doing it as a major concession of good faith so that they could return to the nuclear deal. And that was a failed deal in 2015. It was failed when Trump walked away from it in 2018, and it was still failed when they tried to renegotiate it. This strategy that they've had, John, has backfired on them miserably. It is a direct relationship with this diplomatic appeasement strategy and making concessions to Iran from the very beginning and the fact that Iran has operationalized all of its proxies. They're flush with money, they're flush with missiles and rockets, and they've created this ring of fire around Israel with the confidence that now they're in a position to really put Israel back on its feet, to put the people of Israel at risk so they may not want to live there anymore and raise their grandchildren and their children. So when Prime Minister Netanyahu talks about this as an existential threat to destroy the state of Israel, this is real. And the extension of that is Jews writ large. And that is what is at stake here, and we have to remind ourselves what is actually taking place here right before our eyes. This administration has no spine to deal with
understood.
Iran.
And inflation would have gone down if we cleaned out the Red Sea and cleaned out the Suez Canal, because oil would be $10 or $15 or $20 cheaper a barrel. And that is part of the inflation. That's why interest rates are high, and because of inflation. And we're creating, how do they say it in Brooklyn? We're creating our own banana peel.
Yes. Well, I hadn't heard that one before, even though I'm a New York City kid, but I lived on the other side of the river.
Jack, I'm looking forward to our lunch together, and I'll see you real soon. Thank you.
You got it.
Thanks, General.